A legit fight backstage at a wrestling event. An AEW star frustrated with Tony Khan. Fear about WWE's Netflix debut. And more. I'm Moustache Davis, and this is the Moustache Talk Moustache.
Support WrestleTalk!
Get exclusive bonus videos over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. There really is nothing like it, is there? Larger-than-life characters, fiery promos to get us excited for the eventual match, and then two performers competing in a predetermined fight. I am, of course, talking about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul from Friday night. The star of The Hangover fought the singer of the 17th most disliked YouTube video of all time in a boxing match on the 15th of November. The crowd booed continuously for the final 2 rounds as Paul won by unanimous decision. But the reason I'm covering this in the WrestleTalk news isn't just because it's a work brother. It's because this was Netflix's latest attempt to stream a large-scale sporting event ahead of Raw moving to the platform in 49 days. And they didn't do great. Despite having almost a year to prepare for this live stream, the broadcast was plagued with technical glitches like audio issues, as pointed out by Mike Mulvihill, the president of Insights and Analytics at Fox. Jerry Jones saying Netflix is a huge part of the NFL's future into a mic that doesn't work, and then less than a minute later the stream goes down. And repeated buffering issues from the second match on the card, where viewers experience their screens either freezing or failing to load. The founder of Barstool Sports called it unwatchable. Many fans posted their fear on X about how Netflix will handle WWE's debut on their platform from January 6th. Before then, they've got several other big-scale tests, streaming 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. Fightful Select, however, is reporting WWE officials aren't that worried about the move, as they've been promised by Netflix that buffering and connectivity problems will be kept to a minimum for them, which I'm sure they also told everyone else. One executive even added that if Raw ever reached the same amount of traffic that Tyson vs. Paul had, which Netflix claims was watched by 60 million households worldwide, quite a few more than WWE's 1.5 to 2 million weekly viewers, that would be a good problem to have. Netflix promoted Raw's debut on the boxing stream, unveiling the show's new logo, which appears to share the same red colour as the Netflix logo, is slightly 3D, and has the top and bottom lines which the show had up until 2012. But it's not just fancy word art WWE are using to get viewers in. Triple H turned up at a Travis Scott gig last night to invite him to the episode, which was later confirmed by WWE themselves, with tickets for the event going on sale this Friday the 22nd. Just to go back to the Tyson versus Paul fight, there is something else we need to talk about. Are we getting the Paul brothers versus Mike Tyson and a WWE legend at WrestleMania 41? Wow, things escalated quickly. Admittedly, this is from my own fantasy booking from our Survivor Series episode of the 3 Count. Here's that clip.
You can do the Paul brothers at WrestleMania with Tyson plus someone who will actually do all the wrestling.
LA Knight.
Stone Cold.
Oh, actually, hello.
Oh.
Hello. That's the one. The Paul brothers versus Tyson and Austin. That's great. That's genius. That is the best idea you've ever come up with on this show.
Watch that brand new episode of the 3 Count as soon as you're done watching this video, because after the Tyson versus Jake Paul match, Tyson said he would maybe fight Jake's brother and WWE superstar Logan Paul next. To which Logan replied, "Motherf***, I'd kill you." How would you book the Paul brothers and Tyson crossing over into Netflix WWE? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people from outer goddamn streaming. But never mind work shoot boxing matches. How about those shoot unplanned backstage fights? GCW's NG19 show took place in Orlando, Florida on Saturday night. But it wasn't the promotion's famed deathmatch wrestling in the ring that's newsworthy. It's the former WWE talent who claims they got into a fight with another wrestler in the parking lot. Drake Wirtz used to be the head referee Drake Younger in the glory 20-teens period of NXT. Many classic takeover matches had his overly tanned body officiating them. It was the black and gold and also kind of orange era. But in May 2021, Wirtz was released from his WWE contract following a string of controversies. He made appearances at his local county meetings to protest against mandated mask wearing, and Fightful Select reported he criticized NXT wrestlers for getting vaccinated, and that he stormed out of the 2020 In Your House event when Triple H said people of all religions and genders were welcome in WWE. He also reportedly used his corporate WWE email to coordinate activities for a QAnon-adjacent organization. Following his release, Wirtz ran for the Republican candidate for Florida's State House District 30 and lost, and he unretired from wrestling, retired again in May 2023 to unretire in October that same year for a death match. Bodyslam.net have now reported on a 6-minute live video posted to his Facebook page on Saturday night, where Wirtz claims he showed up at the GCW event despite having no ties to the promotion and presumably mistook it for the NXT parking lot. He claims to have gotten a wrestler called John Wayne Murdoch's face and gave him a couple two-piece and a biscuit, which is likely slang for fisticuffs, and sadly, not an actual biscuit. Wirtz alleged that Murdoch wouldn't keep his name out of his mouth and he's not going to be pushed around anymore. The following morning, deathmatch legend Necro Butcher posted on his Facebook, seemingly in support of Wirtz and against Murdoch. Thank you, Drake Wirtz. I can think of no other wrestler who has taken more money from other wrestlers' families than that guy. Not to mention how many guys he has sent to the hospital. It needed done a long time ago. It's just a sign of the morally corrupt world we live in that he even exists in our business. Thank you. I love you. Necro Butcher continued in the comments, accusing this other wrestler that he wouldn't name of spreading lies about other wrestlers, undercutting competition, refusing to appear on cards with people he's lied about, seriously injuring younger wrestlers to get himself over, and is basically a rotten person. Apparently Drake got tired of his Murdoch, the wrestler who was seemingly being spoken about, then posted his own version of events in the private Deathmatch Elite 2.0 Facebook page, alleging Wirtz actually attacked him from behind while he was on the phone to his girlfriend and son, which Murdoch described as bitch behavior. Bitch behavior, title of your next indie wrestling show. Thankfully, AEW's backstage tensions are handled far more professionally. You just ignore them and hope it goes away. But before that, here's a message from Turbo Jack.
I'm 80s wrestler Turbo Jack, announcing that after all these years, Turbo Jack is all in debt. Turbo Jack's in overwhelmingly crippling debt. So please, God, support Turbo Jack by signing up to WrestleTalk's Patreon at patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where you can watch bonus episodes of 3 Count, Tables, Lists, and Shares, and Survival Series, and more. If you supported the $30 tier, you get a shout out from Turbo Jack on this very show! So thank you, the Bald and Brummy Brett Linforth, Big Jiggy Josh Martin, Abominable Michael Abbott, King of the Conquest Stephen Mulnex, The Machine Gun Alex Anderson, Go Ace, The Ace of Spades Adrian Saint, and The Cleaner Kenny Shaw. Go to patreon.com/WrestleTalk right now to get your own shout out and loads bonus videos, and to financially support Turbo Jack. I'm in a lot of trouble right now. There's some scary guys after me.
It's been almost a year since Danhausen was last seen on TV, with his last appearance coming on the February 14th episode of Ring of Honor. But unlike his lengthy 2023 absence, this isn't because of an injury. In fact, Danhausen appears to have been very healthy, very active, as he's wrestled over 50 matches since his last appearance for Tony Khan, featuring on shows in the US and UK for the likes of GCW, Progress, OTT, House of Glory, and Defy. According to Fightful Select, because he is an AEW signed wrestler, Danhausen gets approval from the AEW office to work every single one of those dates. But despite that, he and AEW have reportedly had very little contact whatsoever in the last 6 months. Apparently, Danhausen was set to return to TV a year ago following his time out injured, but these plans were changed, which led to him expressing frustration directly to Tony Khan. Even though more pitches were made to bring Danhausen back to TV, even from Bryan Danielson, who was reportedly a big proponent, and Danhausen being willing to return, nothing came of them. Apparently, there was a belief within AEW that Danhausen was deciding to prioritize his indie bookings rather than work Collision on Saturdays, which is an odd belief to have if you're the ones who can control how many indie bookings he takes. Danhausen's contract will expire in the summer of 2025. Tony Khan has recently developed a habit of just not not using people he doesn't intend to renew the contracts of, so we might not see Danhausen for a while. Friday's SmackDown saw WWE unveil the tournament brackets to crown the inaugural Women's United States Champion. And according to a new report from Fightful Select, WWE didn't want to do that. The tournament graphic, that is. Not the belt itself. Apparently WWE was initially hesitant to air the brackets, as with Naomi in it, they felt it would undermine her women's championship match against Nia Jax that main evented the same episode. There was some speculation that the US belt would be a floating championship, available to be defended across both Raw and SmackDown. But Fightful writes that no Raw women were included in the tournament because the title will be exclusive to SmackDown for the immediate future. With Raw now the only brand in WWE not to have a secondary women's title, there's speculation backstage that a women's intercontinental belt will soon be introduced, but there's been no word on that nor why the Raw women weren't included in the SmackDown tournament. It seems WWE really is keeping its performers in the dark over the US title plans, as Bayley has also revealed in an interview with the headliner Chicago that nobody knew that was happening. So in a way, it was really cool to be surprised, and I was just happy that I was in front of a monitor when it was happening. I was in the middle of a meeting with one of my bosses and it had just popped up. I heard Nick Aldis talk about the women and I was like, whoa, hold on please, can we just watch this real quick? I'm so happy that I caught it. Otherwise I wouldn't have been around a monitor because there's so much going on. While the inaugural champion favourites are between Bayley, who has already advanced, or hopefully some actual conflict between women's tag team champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who could end up in the final against each other, WWE producer Shane Helms posted that B-Fab was the big favourite backstage on Friday night. Seeing so many people in Gorilla pulling for B-Fab last night was very damn cool. Now click the video on screen to watch Luke and I predict every WWE wrestler's Survivor Series in 3 words or less / fewer.